Hello, this will be a channel message for you. All I did was say hello. There's nothing funny about that. There's nothing funny about that. It's just a greeting. Hello. This will be a channel message for you, for your highest good. And I trust that it found you at the perfect time. I really appreciate you being here with me in this moment. And as always, I love you so, so much. And I'm so, so proud of you. And if this reading found you today, I'm here to tell you that you are a beautiful, unique being. And that's it. You are a beautiful, unique being. Full stop, period. There is no one else quite like you, is what this card says. It says, leave judgment and comparison in the past. Go ahead, recognize and celebrate your differences. List all the things that make you unique and special. And I'm sure you can find many things because you are such a beautiful, unique being. And this theme of comparison and competition and needing to win and needing to prove ourselves has been coming up for me in the past few days. I'm an Aries, just saying. So I'm in this with you guys. I'm right here in the thick of it. Okay, I can speak about this. I can speak about these things. And the current situation, take it as it resonates. The current situation for you is the Five of Wands in reverse. This is what I'm getting. So this isn't necessarily your energy, but it's like there's a situation around you that potentially involves unhealthy competition or comparison. So the Five of Wands in reverse is kind of like we've moved past the play fighting. And now this is coming from that unhealthy place of needing to prove ourselves and not really being on the same page. You can see all of the different garments here, like all of the different colors. So there's a group of people here that have differing belief systems, differing perspectives. And it's getting to the point now where things are becoming a little bit chaotic. And what I see here is a really beautiful opportunity for healing and growth and forward movement. And I see a lot of introspection here. I see a lot of reflection. There's a lot of beautiful things that are happening here and some kind of shadow work being done. There may be some wounding around this like solar plexus energy. I get a lot of Aries, Sagittarius, and a lot of Leo in this reading here. With the Five of Wands in reverse being clarified by the Strength card. Into the Six of Swords, the Two of Swords, into the Hermit, right? So what does all of this mean? I feel like somebody in this situation is bringing the energy, the frequency of love, understanding, that higher level of intellect into the situation. There's impulse control here, which leads to free will, being able to act from that level of our higher self, basically that level of our higher understanding. So somebody here is very patiently, very courageously approaching this situation, and it's the dawning of the new day. That's the Strength card. It's the purification of some kind of impulse, unhealthy emotional response. I feel like this competitive feeling, for you or somebody around you, it's visceral. It feels primal. It's like we can be consciously aware that unhealthy competition is a negative thing, but we can still get that feeling when we lose, right? It's like there's some kind of genetic material that's being worked with here so that we can move from a place of having to fight to survive, move from that into a place where we can collaborate and thrive, right? I feel like this is what's happening here. And through approaching this situation with, I'm hearing like a fresh set of eyes, like a fresh perspective, and trying to embody that frequency of patience and love and courage and understanding and compassion and all of those good things, it creates forward movement with the Six of Swords here. I'm getting detachment. You know, it's Aquarius energy. Obviously, this Leo and Aquarius axis, something about access here, but this axis creates opposition, right? They're opposites. And I feel like this sense of detachment is moving things forward, away from the chaotic energy, away from the lack of like blending, and there's movement into calmer waters. Basically, there's movement into peace. I really feel like this Could be like a family situation. There's definitely some kind of group dynamic here, and there's a new set of belief systems, a helpful set of belief systems that are moving things forward. Six of Swords is very like intentional. It's about being very consciously aware of what your thought patterns and your beliefs are, and this is what is moving you forward out of the chaos. There's a desire to move forward, but it feels a bit liminal. It's the card of a transition. It's also a card of like accepting help. So there may be like some kind of therapy aspect. Watching readings might be helping you with this. You might be getting some kind of outside advice. And through this process that you're moving through, it leads to the Two of Swords. So the need to make a challenging decision and potentially look at something that is really difficult to look at. So this might be you or somebody around you struggling with some kind of a decision here. It's also the card of the Moon being in Libra. So I feel like there may be potentially a bit of a conflict between the heart and the mind, and a need to maybe choose and embody that frequency of love and really a frequency of authentic expression, even when the mind doesn't necessarily agree with it, if it doesn't make sense, if it brings up some kind of fear. I mean, this theme of speaking your truth and embodying your own personal truth, even when other people don't like it, that as a theme has been coming up for me as well the past few days. Just synchronistically, I'm seeing people being in that energy. So some kind of a conflict and a difficult decision needing to be made here, which then leads into the Hermit. So whoever's making this decision or whatever's happening here, this person is going within to try to make this decision and see where there might be parts of themselves, parts of this shadow that are contributing to this situation. I feel like the Hermit is the play here. The Hermit is 100% the play. I love the Hermit. Virgo energy. It's really like that. There is this feeling of acceptance and having to detach from these primal urges and maybe an old paradigm, an emotional paradigm where we have to act from a place of defending ourselves out of fear or being combative out of fear, or there's somebody around you who's like processing everything that's coming up. It's like maybe there's a situation in your life or something to do with somebody around you where they're being triggered into this competitive mode. And instead of acting from that place, they're choosing to go within and determine, like, where is this coming from? And can I heal this? Like Virgo, the Hermit, you know, the energy of the healer. Being able to look at those difficult details and look at them through the lens of truth. The frequency of truth. And when you embody truth, everything else falls away. Like, it just collapses. The Five of Wands in reverse will just collapse if people in this situation can just embody their truth and maybe share things from an emotional place, right? And the Hermit has that lantern. He can shine the light. He can show others the way. Like, this is a true leader, right? This is somebody who can walk the walk because they're able to look at themselves, look at their reflection. And I really see you showing up as this kind of, I mean, this could be you right here, the Hermit. Because in the centerpiece of the reading, I get the Eight of Swords. So I think that through this situation that has been really challenging and is bringing up feelings of combativeness or unhealthy competition, there's like a realization that's happening here. The mirror synchronicities have been coming up for me, very relevant here. It's like you might be doing some kind of mirror work or trying to see yourself in this situation and really identify what this Five of Wands situation is trying to reflect back at you. Because every trigger that we have is an invitation to go within and try and identify what is the message here. Spirit, my guides, what are you trying to show me? Like, what's the point? Well, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of all of this? There's always a point. And whether the solution here is to speak your truth, embody more of a frequency of love because love is patient, or whether it's to set a boundary, you know, whether it's to walk away, you know, the solution might differ depending on who you are and what the situation is, but there's always a point. And there's always something that these situations are trying to show us. And I see you making the conscious decision to look within and look at this mirror. And this situation might be really revealing. Might be showing you this Two of Swords energy where there's difficulty making a choice. because there's fear involved. It's bringing up some fears that we weren't necessarily consciously aware of. I see some kind of inner child healing that's taking place right now. Page of Wands in reverse on the feminine side of the spread. Oh, nearly dropped that. that five of Wands wanted to dip, but not today. Not today. I caught you, right? It's like someone might be trying to like just dip out as soon as you bring up the truth, right? It's like, hey, I wasn't involved here. And it's like, look, mate. Look, mate. Weren't you just saying that, you know, this, that, the other thing? So, you know, maybe someone's trying to dip out here. But anyway, this is about, I think, the inner child and your ability to express your truth, express how you really feel about a situation, even when it's scary, and even when maybe as a younger person or somebody who didn't have that relationship with themselves, you weren't necessarily encouraged to speak about your emotions, with the Page of Wands being clarified by this watery energy. And it creates this like internal conflict too, right? Five of Wands in reverse. Like there's just this tension, I feel like, that exists within your energetic field as this alchemy is taking place, right? The Strength card is the play. The Hermit is the play. Like, keep doing what you're doing here, even if it is very challenging emotionally, because you're making amazing progress here. And you're making the conscious decision to heal this stuff. So major props to you guys. It creates this feeling of like wanting to like bust out or like break out. I think there's a big message about like freedom here. Wanting to be free to express, even when it's a bit scary. It's like, even when maybe it seems overwhelming or you feel trapped, you know, Eight of Swords, you can't necessarily see the way out. Page of Wands, like lack of motivation or like lack of optimism, because it just seems like there isn't really a solution here. I think time is really going to help, like just giving yourself the time to do this processing. Because it's really like, I feel like a lot of this is, it's fear and being able to work with that impulse control and maybe speak your truth from a place of patience and love and compassion, and just unapologetically being your authentic self. And not being afraid of like what the consequences are, in a sense, because you can remove yourself from the situation. You can set that boundary. You are the creator of your reality, so you can create a new situation for yourself. And maybe there's a frequency or an attachment when it comes to, you know, something that might be difficult to let go of. With the number 5, you know, this 5 of Wands, it's the number of change. And loss, the idea of like winning and losing and competition, it translates into loss, basically. What happens when we feel like we've lost something? What happens when we don't get that victory and we have to let go? There might be a need to let go of something right now, and it's bringing up this emotional material and bringing you back to a place where you have to sit with that inner child and nurture it and parent it and really encourage it to move forward with faith, hope, optimism, belief, and confidence. You know, real courage here. I see the 8 of Swords being clarified by this Taurus card. You might be dealing with a Gemini or a Taurus. And this is, again, this feeling of like needing to bust out, needing to break out, creating feelings of frustration because you feel trapped. So there's maybe a desire to act like impulsively or use strength, use that energy of personal power in an unhealthy way where there's no self-control. Like, these are the emotions that are coming up for you to alchemize right now. And if you look on this Taurus card, if you see between the eyes here, there's this point that kind of represents the third eye. So it's saying that we need to be wary of actually creating our reality from this place of wanting to act impulsively. It's like we might be looking around and seeing that there's some major like restriction in our life. And the Taurus card is saying, like, because the third eye is what projects our reality outwards. So it creates this feedback loop where we feel trapped and we feel like we want to break out. And then being in that frequency, that lower vibration, is actually projecting our reality outwards, and it's creating the next chapter of our life from that place of feeling trapped. So then we create another situation where we feel trapped and we need to act impulsively. And you guys are some kind of like cycle breaker. You're like a generational curse breaker. Because the Five of Wands dipped out again. It's gone. The Five of Wands is gone. And there's a message here, because the awareness that you are the one who can make the choice to break the cycle will remove the Five of Wands from your life. That's what takes the chaos off of the board. When you realize that you can do the inner work, the emotional alchemy, and you can make the choice to consciously act, maybe as this Knight of Swords, as this ponyta on the masculine side of the spread, but doing it in a healthy way. Because there's a shadow aspect to this. And again, there's this energy of like wanting to break out, wanting to act impulsively. Knight of Swords wanting to cut through the BS, you know, bring clarity quickly, have that conversation, not necessarily thinking about the consequences. Like, I'm not saying this is good or bad, it just is. And I think you can do this from a higher perspective, because again, love is patient. So it's like, and look at this Knight of Swords. He's kind of like, he just gives me the vibe that he's trying to like run away from something. Like motorcycles might be significant here. And if you want to make a getaway on this motorcycle, it's going to require balance, because that's what the motorcycle is, the two wheels. Like, you're going to need balance to move forward if you do want to move things forward. And if you rush and act impulsively, or if somebody around you is in this energy, it may just create more problems. So I think you just bringing awareness into this like situation and bringing love into the situation, because awareness in itself is transformative. So we have the ability to forgive and have that compassion. And forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean letting other people cross those boundaries, letting other people back into your life when you know that they're not supposed to be a part of your journey. That's not what forgiveness is. It's more just about understanding. And again, being able to let go and move things forward from a place of love, from a place of ease, because you don't want this chaos in your life anymore. And that's why these emotions are coming up for you to be transmuted. And I'm getting the quote like, you can't solve a problem at the level that it was created. And there's an opportunity here for all of the people in this situation to see things from that higher perspective and solve the problem from a higher level. It's like doing the same thing and expecting the same result. Like, expecting a different result. It's like you can't do the same thing and expect a different result. There's some kind of energy there. Again, I'm an Aries, so I'm totally with you. So let's get some advice from Spirit. I really feel like this thing about not solving the problem at the level it was created is kind of pinging me. There's something there. So I get ancestors, generations. So this really comes back to what I was saying, like, there's like genetic material here. So there's no need for shame or love or judgment. There's no judgment here. It's all love here, no matter what kind of spectrum you're on, or whatever part you're playing in this situation, or even if it has nothing to do with you and this is just people around you. Like, there's a need to, I think, bring love into this, because we're all really just healing. Basically, I think there's a situation that has been built on some kind of genetic trauma. And it's also a really good time here to call in that support from your ancestral line, because they want to support you in this. There's something about that, like, it's like your guides, they can't interfere, but they can intercede on your behalf if you ask for their help, if you request that they be with you here now, and they give you the patience and they give you the courage, and you can feel like you're being guided through this. Emotional alchemy is all about what this comes down to. This is all about impulse control, seeing things from that higher perspective and walking in alignment with your higher self, even when emotionally it's challenging, even when we have these primal urges and these emotional responses. That's what the Strength card is all about. It's about feeling that and even leaning into it, you know, breathing into it, sitting with those feelings, and again, making the choice to not act from that place of fear or those lower vibrations. It's okay to feel those things. It's totally normal. And this card is saying, like, there's genetic material, again, that's being healed. We just want to be wary of where we might be acting from that place, and we want to make a different choice. This whole reading is about making a different choice, right? With new beginnings. On the bottom of the deck, again, the dawn of a new day, like I was saying. With this strength card, this is the opportunity here for you or somebody around you to make a different decision here. And I get tree, grounding. So there's a lot of material, a lot of energy being moved around. Like there's an expansion of the consciousness that's taking place. You might even be feeling it as a physical sensation. Like you might be meditating or like having some kind of major realizations, and then your field of view and your mind space, you just feel it go like, it's just like that little bit bigger. I don't know if you've been, like, I've been feeling that so much lately. It's crazy, like literally feeling the consciousness expand, like not from an egoic place. It just is. It's just happening. So it's like there is a need to ground as this process is taking place. Spend time in nature. Spend time moving a bit slower. Spend time again as you lean into these emotions and you transmute this material, just returning back to the breath, doing things that make you feel safe, doing things that make you feel nurtured. And maybe I'm getting just spending less time looking at screens or doing things that take you out of the body, like maybe some kind of like drug use might be significant here. Like this is a really good time to try and ground yourself on the earth and keep resetting that nervous system. There's a really big collective here that has been just completely reprogramming and healing the nervous system here. I get island and solitude on the bottom of the deck. So don't be afraid to take time out and let yourself process these emotions. And if there is some kind of like argument or combative energy around you, maybe it's good for everybody to just like take a time out, take a pause. If things are getting a bit heated, it's like, all right, let's just take 5 or we'll take a day where we can process this information before we move things forward. That's a really healthy way to do this, because conflict can lead to growth. There's a healthy way to do conflict, and we're not all here to agree and blend. And here's the thing, is like, as I ask for more advice, I get the 5 of Wands upright on the bottom of the deck. So this isn't about avoiding conflict. This is about trying to do conflict in a healthy way and to grow from that place. Like there's a relationship between friction and growth. That's something I've talked about on this channel. Like when you're in the gym and you break down the muscle fibers, that's what makes the muscles grow. When we have like a healthy debate or a disagreement with somebody, we can develop a higher level of perspective because we can see the other person's point of view, and we can help them to understand our point of view. And sometimes it's not necessarily about sharing what you think it should be, but it's more about sharing how you feel and how the situation is making you feel. And again, maybe once upon a time you weren't encouraged to share how you feel. And there's the message is, a big part of this is just not acting from that old place, from that place of fear, making a different decision here. And choosing, even when it's really challenging, to be a bit vulnerable and let somebody know that I feel afraid. This situation is making me feel this way. It makes me feel angry. It makes me feel trapped. There's something about the situation that makes me really frustrated here. And I think through sharing that and really embodying that frequency of authenticity in your own personal truth, not being afraid to do that, not being afraid to really shine your light and express that you have needs, like that you would really like to be met. I mean, there's resolution here, I think, because I get the 4 of Wands in reverse, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands into the Hanged Man. So the advice is to recognize that maybe there's a foundation here, and it's the way that we have approached conflict leading up to this point, or maybe it's just the way that conflict will make us feel, right? That is it needs to be worked on. Like, there's maybe a new foundation that needs to be built here. We need to go back to the root. We need to kind of go back to the ground floor of this whole thing and recognize where all of this is coming from. Again, like, this is generational stuff. Like, these are energies that we brought with us into this life that are being asking to be transmuted at this point in time. So going back to the foundation, acting from that place of the Page of Wands, you know, the optimist, the person who can share from that place of like curiosity and excitement and fun. And it's like this Five of Wands, it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be combative. Like, we can kind of turn this into a bit of a game. Like, it doesn't have to be so serious. Let's just try and take the serious energy out of it and just look at this as maybe like a process or an experiment or just a way for us to become closer. You know, if you're arguing with somebody who's close to you, it's like, can we turn this conflict into an opportunity to become closer, to learn? You know, can we just like take the seriousness out of it, try and take it less personally? You know, Six of Swords, like, create that sense of detachment, not being so attached to the outcome here. You know, maybe there is a way to compromise. Maybe we can collaborate here, even if we have different beliefs, different ideas of the way that things need to be. Or maybe there needs to be a separation here. But it's all about your confidence. You know, Queen of Wands is kind of willing to walk away if she needs to, if she's in a situation that doesn't serve her. Like, this is about stepping into your own power and, again, recognizing that you have needs that should be met. And you're the creator of your reality. The Queen of Wands is like the magician of the court cards. And she can take an empty space, something that's barren, and she can bring life into it using frequency. Because everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. So she can use visualization and her emotions, really, or her feelings to create something new. There's like new growth here in this situation, and that's why I get the Hanged Man following the Queen of Wands. Like, this is the new perspective. This is the higher perspective. You know, this is everything we've been saying in this reading, like approaching conflict differently and maybe doing this inner child healing. Every party involved here going within and doing this inner child healing, feeling more comfortable expressing what their emotions actually are and how the situation makes them feel, and approaching this conflict as an opportunity for us to maybe become closer or even go our separate ways in a way that's really healthy, because we're both, or all of us, stepping into our confidence and our creative potential and letting go of maybe some kind of codependency or enmeshment, whatever the case may be. That's the higher perspective. And that's the surrender. You know, it's the opposite of conflict. Really, it's surrender. Okay, I surrender. We all surrender. All right, what is the truth? And that's what the Hanged Man is all about. Like, seeing that higher perspective, seeing the truth. In a way, kind of seeing the reality from a spiritual perspective, from that place of needing to let go, you know, Neptune energy, the connection to the divine and the divine order of things, and maybe accepting that, you know, things aren't great right now, or there's some kind of conflict, there's something that needs to be resolved, but there's a solution here, and it may take some kind of personal sacrifice, letting go of what the ego really wants on all sides of the equation, letting go of what the ego wants and stepping more into that high perspective where we need to move in alignment with the divine plan. And coming at it from that really spiritual perspective. And I get the Sun underneath that. So it's good. You got this. You got this. That's like there's a happy ending here. There's 100% a happy ending here. Because a new perspective has been reached. There's a solution. There's some kind of solution. And yeah, that's basically everything I was saying. You know, letting go. I'm just getting that really strongly because, again, the Sun, you know, Leo energy, the solar plexus, letting go of an old paradigm that involves the ego. And, you know, maybe the ego in the past being the master instead of the servant, right? But we're stepping into a new life, a paradigm where we are leading as our higher self. So with that, maybe we'll just get some some closing advice, and then we'll skedaddle. So I am optimistic. When everything seems lost, I never lose sight of what's really important. And I always fight to save the things I love. I don't know if I really like that choice of words. I always fight to save the things I love. There's a really good opportunity for introspection here. What's your relationship with the word fight? You know, maybe there, again, it comes back to this emotional alchemy. Like, we can fight to subdue our desires, to suppress. You know, we can feel like we're in a battle with ourselves and with others. And maybe, just maybe, there's something about surrender here. And being more of the observer. And doing that thing that your intuition and your higher self is really calling you to do, as challenging as it might be. Guys, there's a happy ending here. There's a solution here. And it involves doing what you know you need to do from that place of love. And again, love is patient. Love is compassionate. And give yourself plenty of love as you move through this. Like, there's no shame or judgment here, because you guys are doing amazing. You're doing some really important work here, and you're bringing a lot of conscious awareness and a lot of love into these unconscious spaces. So you're doing God's work in that way, for real. So with that, let's totally leave it there. I love that reading, guys. I love you so, so much. Thank you for doing this really profound, important healing work. The world really needs you right now. Thank you for showing up every day and supporting me. Thank you for sharing this absolutely magical, divine space with me. And I absolutely cannot wait to do it all again in the next reading. Let's go. I love you guys. Well, peace forever. Bye-bye.